Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Soul Rising podcast. I am your host, Amanda McCoy Flanagan. Thank you for joining me today. If this is your first time here, welcome. We are all in on love, loss, and connection here. We talk about all things human emotion, how it serves to connect us to ourselves or disconnect us from ourselves, others, and the universe. And I am so happy to have my friend Amber with us today. For those of you who know me, already follow me on social media and whatnot, and know about what I do professionally. Amber is my partner, my co-host for retreats, and we're hosting one in June. We'll tell you a little bit more about that as we go on. But a friend connected Amber and I when I was considering starting to do retreats, and it's just been a perfect match. I mean, like, opposites attract, and like in a lot of ways, that's how we are. I mean, we definitely have a ton in common, but then there's different energies that we blend together. And I think we're like the perfect mix of like yin and yang. I just feel like it works really well. So I'm really happy to introduce you guys to Amber, to get to know what Amber does. She is amazing. She is just, I put out a newsletter yesterday and I said, like, she's just soothing to the nervous system. And you guys are going to understand why as soon as she starts talking. It's just her. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about Amber, and then we're going to turn it over to her. And then we're just going to launch into our conversation. So here we go. Amber LaRusso is a dedicated wellness practitioner with a deep passion for guiding others into states of relaxation, inner connection, and personal transformation. As the founder of Zen Healing Arts, she integrates vibrational sound therapy, yoga, meditation, and Reiki to create immersive healing experiences that help people reconnect with their inner wisdom to cultivate healing and a state of flow in their lives. And that just sounds wonderful. Don't we all need that? So, hi, Amber.
Hello. I'm so happy to be here with you today. Thank you so much for having me on.
I'm so happy you're here. It's awesome. All right. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit more about you? Like just a quick little background, like specifically why you're passionate about the work that you do, kind of what brought you to it.
Yes. Well, I have a background in music and also yoga. And I feel like the sound therapy, meditation, breath, it all kind of flows out of that. I started practicing as a musician in my teens and working with music in a way to cultivate spiritual atmosphere and flow of energy, but within the church, within that particular system, and moved away from that for a period of time. And in my 30s, I was very into yoga. I was doing photography. I was kind of, looking for creative flow while managing a lot of anxiety and some chronic health issues. And everything came to a head when we lost our first baby girl at 37 weeks. She was stillborn and completely rocked my world, as you can imagine. But during that time, the universe was dropping in sound meditation practitioners coming on my radar. A friend of mine was just going through training and she was like, hey, let me do a session for you. And in the moment, it was like, oh, well, that was really nice. I felt loved. I felt cared for. And it wasn't until the next day, it just like shifted my whole world. And it took me, on a new path, but also back to my old path. It's that whole becoming and remembering at the same time, which has been really beautiful. And everything has kind of flowed from there. I got my first bowls when my daughter Sophia was 7 months old. And my son, I call him my Reiki baby. I did my first Reiki training when I was like 8 months pregnant with him. And he has come into the world with this amazing sense of connection and understanding of things beyond what I ever expected.
I can second that. Yeah, he's connected totally. Aware. He's aware. He might not understand. He doesn't understand. I mean, he's little. He doesn't understand what he's feeling. But some of the things you've told me that he says, it's like, wow.
He gets it.
Mm-hmm.
He gets this whole thing we're doing. Living on this planet, spinning around the sun.
We're leading light workers, they say that are common and now we're like that. So I'm sorry. So continue.
No. And So for the last number of years, like the first 13 years, I think that I was teaching yoga and working with sound, I was in studio. And then I started to really feel called to bring these practices out into the world. And so I started working a little more with community groups, and I work with teachers and doing events. So what I do right now is basically I facilitate a supported space for all kinds of transitions, right? Whether I've done some like bachelorette parties, retirement parties, milestone birthday parties. You don't normally think about a meditation, a sound bath as being like a celebration. But what it is it's kind of it's a ritual, an initiation, a way to move through that milestone that's been just really beautiful to be a part of.
That's super cool, man. That's like such a cool way to look at it. Like you wouldn't think that inviting a practitioner or just have that space filled with meditation, but really it's like a real celebration to honor our own souls, honor our own spirits. This returning and becoming is what you said, becoming and remembering. You said all at once. Like that's a celebration in and of itself, especially in the world that we're living in right now and how crazy things are. And we're gonna talk more about how that's manifesting in each of our lives, the craziness and the
Yes.
pressure to get it all done. But that's a really cool point. My husband Jim says often, like, why does everybody get together and like eat? Why don't we go for like a run? Why don't we all go do something that's like really good for us? Like, and that's the same concept. Having a party and inviting somebody like you to come do that. It's a celebration of self. I love it.
Mm-hmm. And I think there's something really, really wonderful about having a group of people around you that love you and support you and are walking with you through that transition. That's really, really important. I love my private sessions. There's amazing work happening there. But when there's a whole group, it's a different energy, you're not just held by me facilitating the space. You are held by everybody in that room who's gathered to kind of walk you through whatever it is that you're going through. It's
Yeah.
really beautiful.
The collective energy. It's
Yes.
just like magnified or magnify, not magnify, that might not be the word. It's
Amplified.
amplifying. Yes.
Mhm.
And you feel it even more. That's cool. That's cool stuff.
Yeah.
So, what does this immersive healing experience, like if somebody comes to you, because you do all these different things that are kind of all under the same umbrella, what would a session look like if somebody came to you?
Yeah. Well, it kind of depends on their intention and what they're looking to move through or receive or let go of. So the way that I structure things right now is it's more about what kind of energy do you want to work with? Are you healing from something? Are you moving through grief, through a transition that's painful, dealing with chronic illness, all those kinds of things? So that's going to be one particular session. And we would likely tap into um, on body vibrational sound, breath work that helps to soothe and engage the nervous system so that you can enter a state of rest and digest and healing. And some of that is also practices that you take home with you so that you can continue working that in your day to day. And also, of course, Reiki healing energy is amazing. And with Reiki, really, we're tapping into your own personal healing energy. And so you can, connect in whatever way you connect with God, source, universe energy and draw that out within yourself in a supported space. If you're wanting to move into a state of activation, whether that is, I want to get back into photography or I want to launch a business. I want to, figure out what my purpose is in this world. Like sometimes people come and they're like, I don't even know what I'm passionate about. I'm so like disconnected. I've been in my roles, in this structure, in the need to do. I don't even know. And so then they might come and we would work with different instruments, and maybe also some Reiki and some breath work that's moving energy in a different way. It's less of like soothing and more building up as well as connecting inward. You can tell I'm kind of a yogi. I'm like, I'm all about the body. And,
Like how you're
we do
sitting,
body
you
a
look
lot.
like you're in crisscross applesauce over there or something like that.
Yeah. Rounding out my sheepskin. Um, yes. So there's a few different sessions that I offer. And we co-create together. No two sessions are going to be the same, which is part of why I'm having a little trouble describing what exactly a session is going to look like, because there will be a plan ahead of time. I will talk with you about what your needs are, what you're looking for, the tools that I have in my tool belt. But then we get to the session and we see where you are at that day. We see kind of what aligns and what arises, and the energy you bring in and the energy I bring in is going to give us kind of a moment to moment roadmap, right? So we find that flow together and we go with it.
So it sounds like you just use your intuition and feedback you're getting from people and kind of adjust it as you're going. So like you don't really have a plan necessarily. And I love that. It's like customizable. It's like unique and personal. That makes it like so personal. So that is super cool. And you said if you can help people with chronic pain. And Amber is going to come over and do a frequency healing session for me, because if you're watching on YouTube, you might see how this eye is much smaller than this eye. And this is because I am recovering from ocular shingles, which is totally nuts because I'm 44 years old and I'm probably one of the healthiest people, like blood work wise, that you might find. I eat a low inflammation diet, I exercise, I meditate, I do all the things. And I found myself in the month of April under a lot of stress and pressure from a personal situation going on and spreading myself a little too thin and not doing the practices that I know work. And I was just under an intense amount of stress. And I did not slow down to really tap in to see what do I need? What are my needs right now? And I kind of did know. I mean, I'll tell you guys the honest truth. I kind of did know. And for some reason, I just wasn't doing it. I just felt like this pressure instead of, meditating for half an hour before my kids wake up. I felt like I need to answer emails. I need to post this. I need to do that. I need to make this note. And I just was off and running the second my eyes woke up, when the brain was going, and I just did not use my tools for whatever reason. And it resulted in this shingles virus that manifested on my face. And I don't know if you could see, I mean, I'm healing pretty well, but I had blisters all up in here, little tiny ones here. And it's now resulted in something called post-thoracic neuralgia, which is a up to 3 month longer illness of basically nerve damage in my head. I have from here down to the nape of my neck back here, I have a pressure right now. And every now and then, this is 2 weeks old already. Every now and then I get a piercing, like a stabbing, like right back in here and behind my eye. So I got very lucky because by the time I figured out it was shingles, it was a little bit past the 72-hour window of treatment, and it turned into what's called eye involvement. And eye involvement is that the virus starts attacking your eye. It did attack my cornea. I have some damage to my cornea, which will heal, but it did not get my retina. And I really feel like I dodged a bullet. And it was so cool. Like I saw all of the energy work and the prayer in action, because I've never really had to call out for like two people. I've called out to God to help me, but I've never really thought, okay, who are the people? Who are my prayer warriors? Who, does the rosary, which I've always kind of been like weird about that, but now I believe. Who are my light workers? Who are my energy healers? And I was in like a state of freaking out for like I woke up last Saturday morning, hysterical crying for an hour and a half because I couldn't see the ophthalmologist till Monday. And what I had read, I knew with this eye involvement situation, I could go blind. And I was really, really upset. And I just reached out to everybody that I knew that loved me and that has the belief and the faith and believes in energy work and believes in prayer. And I found a hospital, my sister-in-law, like she was just, I keep telling her, an angel. I was in no shape to Google anything. And she Googled emergency ophthalmology, Denver, found a hospital, the only hospital in the area with an on-call ophthalmologist, went right in within a couple of hours. We had somebody looking at my eye and there was no damage, no serious damage. I mean, I may have my vision. I don't know if it's going to be 20/20 again, but if I need glasses, if that's the worst of this, so, thank you. So it showed me, number one, how all of that works. And it showed me I had to be living under some kind of chronic stress under the surface. Like this, like subconscious, unconscious level of cortisol spiking all the time. And I'm a doer, I'm a mover, I'm a shaker. And I'm sure a lot of you out there are too. So taking the time to just, sit and listen to a podcast, that's like self-care, right? Like to this podcast, especially, right? So, what I learned is that I really have to slow down. I don't have a choice. And I'm like a multitasker. I know that's not possible, right? They say you can't really multitask, but like I'm really freaking good at it. Like I really am good at it. And I thrive in that. And it's the chemicals that are being excreted into my body that feel good to me on some level. I don't know what it is. I mean, every time I check something off my list, I get a little hit of dopamine, right? So it's like, how much can I get done? And at the end of the day, can I look back and say, I did it. Rah, rah. You go, Amanda. You got this, right? And it's like, no. So I know you've had some experience as well with some adrenal fatigue, Amber. Can you tell us what your experience is around this and how you manage it?
Yeah. I mean, this is something I've been dealing with honestly since my 20s. And part of it had to do with lack of sleep, as well as just feeling like I am the one who needs to run around and catch all the stuff that's falling all the time and make sure everything is functioning. And yeah, and into my 30s, I started, it was like layering on with chemical sensitivities and other things. And most recently, I mean, last fall, I kind of had a full system breakdown when I tried to go back to work full time and still do Zen and healing arts and manage my kids' transition and all this kind of stuff. And I feel like I keep learning this lesson again and again. And it's why I do what I do, because I need what I do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I'm not preaching to you. I am like, I need this as much as anybody.
Yep.
And the great reminder when your body does have that system breakdown is that we do need to reach out to each other. I feel like some of my dear mentors, like the first question they will ask me after, how are you, is, have you been receiving work? Are you receiving, or are you just giving? And I feel like that's such a huge lesson in this. And especially for those of us who are used to and love to, like it's a genuine love to give out of whatever we have, that, gosh, our body will slow our roll so quickly. And the things that honestly help are prioritizing sleep, the reaching out. There is so much that happens, I think, also mentally and emotionally, as well as energetically, when you reach out and you receive that connection, that love from your community. That whole text stream just pouring out on you. Yeah. I just felt like there was so much in that, the support, sticking with the meditation. Who was it? Was it not Han who said that you should meditate for a small period a day, and if you're really busy, meditate more? I can't remember what the exact quote is, but I feel like it's really true. It's really true. It's so good to continue to sit, to continue whatever practice works for you to keep you in tune with your nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
Because that really feels like it's kind of at the crux of it all, right? Because
Yeah.
life will overtake and
Yes.
distract all the time. There is never enough hours in a day for anybody that I know of.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what I did last fall, which I probably should return to again, is making my daily list instead of, did I get X number of emails out? Did I A, B, and C for so and so?
Mm-hmm.
Did I rest? Did I drink enough water? Did I meditate? And add that back to the list of items to check off.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think there is a positive gratification of checking something off.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard psychologists even say that when you're getting stuck in that like freeze mode, to even write down something you already did. I brushed my teeth. Check. And that it will boost the positive hormones that help you get motivated to do the next thing. I mean, that's when you're stuck.
Yeah.
We are not in a state of stuck right now. We are in a state of overworking.
Yeah.
Overworking.
Life has gotten really good for both of us, right? Because these are like luxury problems, but ultimately they're not luxury when they start to manifest as shingles on your face. Like that, it stops becoming luxury when I have so much to do. And talking about like the scheduling, I have been doing this for a little bit. Well, for the month, it's very interesting because for the month of April, I was trying to do this stuff, yet still not completely aware. But I was telling you, I had reached out to Ginger to see if I could reach her. Like I knew something was coming. Like I kept talking to Amber about like, I need to go see my own energy, do my own energy healing. I need to find somebody who can do this for me. Like I knew I needed it. I just didn't get to it fast enough. So and like one little tip for you guys out there too, what I've been doing is like, I'll schedule something that's like an hour. Like I'd schedule like a podcast interview for like an hour. I'll block off an hour and a half, 2 hours. Like just so I don't feel that pressure to like, well, I got to get to this thing at 2:00 or I got to, I have that buffer in there where I can go upstairs. I work at home, right? This is my home office. I go upstairs, make some tea, sit in the sun for a few minutes, like just recenter, reground, reset that nervous system like you're talking about. Like that is what it is all about. And I love that you focus on that. Unless you focus more somatic and less mindset, even though mindset's always a part of this, right? Mindset is so important. It's probably like step one of this whole thing. But it's cool that we know now that I cannot think myself into resetting my nervous system. I have to act my way, like you're saying, with the breath work, with the yoga, with just sitting in the sun for 5 minutes. A Vegas breath in and just kind of being present and finding my center again and connecting to myself and not just go, 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 go. It just doesn't work. Just does not work.
No, one of my favorite practices right now that I've started really leaning into is sensory practices, like sitting outside or inside with my cup of tea and just taking a minute to close my eyes, smell the tea, feel the warmth, express some gratitude, and, take a sip. How does it feel? What is this doing in my body? Just kind of like slowing everything down, because we need those moments. We need those moments. And sometimes it's really hard to build them into the day. I love that you map out extra time for podcasts so that you have that built in. And I think one of the things I'm really feeling called to right now is like, how do we build moments of ritual, moments of embodiment into like what we're already doing?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I've realized lately that I kind of dread bedtime with my kids.
Yeah, I really
And it's
about bedtime when my kids are 11 and 13.
right.
Yes, it's a big to do.
It's a big to
The
do.
brushing of the teeth, and I don't want to brush my teeth, and okay, come on, go get your pajamas on. Yeah.
When
Right.
we're in bed and we're reading the story and we're snuggling, I am here for it. Everything leading up until that is just like, ugh.
Yeah.
And I've been feeling my system kind of tighten around that,
Yeah.
right? As the clock starts ticking toward bedtime, I feel myself tightening. And so I sat with it for a little while and I was like, okay, how are we going to do this different? How are we going to make this something to look forward to, something that's meaningful for me as well as them? Because in so many ways, I feel like parenthood can be so focused on the child and
Yeah.
their experience that we almost forget to bring them into our own experience. And one thing that I was realizing was that, crash landing at the end of the day, I'm not always washing my face and taking care of my skin and all of that. So I'm working on now getting a routine with my daughter who's 7, where, she comes with me to my bathroom. We
Mhm.
wash our face together. We're together in it. And
Yeah.
it works and sometimes it doesn't, but it's this opportunity.
Yeah. And it's the getting creative,
Yeah.
First having the awareness is what I was thinking about. That like just knowing in those moments, paying a little bit more attention to how we're feeling and then getting creative about how can I make this work for everybody. I'm sure she
Oh,
loves
yeah.
that with mommy and she feels like a big girl washing her face. Like
Mhm.
just serves so many purposes. So I love that. And I love that about you and how you just have that like you just I don't know, you're just so amazing in the way that your brain works and your spirit works and how it all works together. And you're a very sensitive soul and and me too, which is why I'm a little bit more like it's a little bit more assertive or aggressive or New York. I'm just a little bit more New York, right? But
You're
like
New York sensitive.
I'm so
Sensitive just the
sensitive.
same.
I'm an ESP. Like if you guys don't know what highly
You
sensitive
are.
person is, go listen to my show with Ginger Ready. It shows about um and we have a way of tuning in, like being aware of things as we're kind of moving through the day, right? We get these little
Mhm.
like awarenesses or downloads or insights. So
Yeah.
we're not brushing those away. It's about honoring those. Sit That's what the time is about. It's giving yourself the time to sit with that, get curious about that, and say, what is this trying to tell me? Instead of, oh no,
Mhm.
I'm good. I got it. Whatever, because we're too focused on getting it done.
Right. Yeah. It is so not about getting it done.
It is so
It's
the opposite.
yeah.
It's about the
I
being,
mean,
not the doing.
yes. And we will still do the doing. The doing will get done,
Yeah.
right?
Perfect time.
It will get done.
Yeah.
We're not all just gonna go to the beach like I really want to and just sit with my kids and eat some fruit and
Yep.
swim. But for a period. We can't live
Yeah.
it right every day.
Like that all the time. And thank you for reminding me about giving up too much of ourselves in order to take care of our kids. Like right now, I'm nursing this thing. Like finally, I'm off pain meds, which is great. But I'm still on medication. I'm on my second round of antivirals. I'm taking gabapentin to soothe my nerves. And I'm doing only like one thing a day. Work wise, yeah, I'm doing a little bit here and there, but like I don't have three things lined up in a day, right? Because my daughter has her play that she's been working. She's Miss Hannigan and Annie, which is awesome. And she's been, for the semester. And she has her big rock band showcase on Saturday and she lost her voice and she's all congested. Well, she didn't lose her voice. She's congested, so she
Mhm.
can't project and belt the way she wants to. And so I'm like now in this very interesting state of taking care of myself and also trying to take care of her. Like we're doing all this stuff, and luckily my husband's amazing, and he's home, and he's my number one manny. As he's my manny. He does it all. My house husband, as we joke around. And luckily I have him, but like we're pulling out all the stops, but I'm slowing my own self down and saying, I have to slow down to take care of myself and heal, but also to be able to be present for her. But like, I'm not going to her dress rehearsal tonight that all the parents are going to because I can't have the noise. I was there last night and I was like, I got to get out of here. Like, I got it. And I was holding my ears like Miss Hannigan blowing her whistle. Every time I saw that
Oh
movie,
my
I
gosh.
was like,
Yeah. Oh my.
so it's about balancing it. It's like I got to
Yes.
do less right now for many reasons because it's super important for me to help nurture her voice so that she can sing come tomorrow to start this weekend, So it can be a lot, but just to sit with it and kind of map it out, I think for me, because I am a planner and I'm not sure that's ever going to go away, but to plan, work smarter, not harder, right?
Yes. Yes. I think the beauty of it too is that Lila is going to see what you are doing in the midst of what you're going through and that you're also taking care of yourself, right? Because it's that example that we set for them
Yeah.
that when you're sick, you slow down, you take care of yourself
Yes.
and how much you are. I couldn't believe you went to the mic. What was it?
To help with the mics yesterday?
Sound.
Doing
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
I was like, really? Wow.
I just felt like I needed to honor my commitment because I heard that a lot of the parents were not really involved with the
Okay.
helping of this production. So I felt like I
Yeah.
needed to kind of show up. But that is
Yeah.
something I probably could have not done. But in exchange, now I'm not going to go tonight. So I'm trying to
You're finding the balance. You are.
just feel into like, how am I feeling today? What can
Mhm.
I do today? Even if I have a light schedule, I might wake up tomorrow not feeling good and I might cancel the two things I was going to do.
Yeah.
Tapping and tuning into our bodies in the moment and honoring that. It's so important. And that's what we both teach women to do and guide women to do themselves. So I feel like if I'm going to be like when I put my book out, I was like, if I'm putting this book out, I need to like be living the stuff that I'm saying in this book. If I am guiding women to this space, of course I'm human and I'm not going to be there all the time. Like right now I'm in a season, right? But like I have to be it, right? Like don't speak about it, be about it. I think like P. Diddy said that in a song like in the 90s, like I gotta like be it. It's my integrity.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
tell us more, Amber. Tell us more. Keep talking to us because I just love hearing you talk. Where do you want to go with this?
What do you want to know? Um, gosh,
You want to talk about our retreat?
let's talk about our retreat. I know it's our transformation after loss retreat. And I feel like those words can sound heavy,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
the joy in my heart, honestly, when we talk about it is so, so much because there is so much good that happens, right? It's like we get to dive down underneath the surface with the women who show up, who honor us with their vulnerability in their own way, at their own pace, right? Like, not everybody's necessarily an open book right away or at all,
Mhm.
but we get to just hold that space for people wherever they're at for an extended period. There's something so wonderful about that
Yeah.
because it's when you go beyond that one session and you go into multiple sessions and multiple days and you really get a sense for people and they get comfortable with you. I feel like what you and I are able to impart and hold space for just becomes so much broader. Don't
Mm.
you agree?
For sure. I think it's the words that are coming to me are emotional intimacy.
Yeah.
We're able to create a very comfortable, welcoming, warm, inviting space where people can let their guard down. And I think what happens is, like you're talking about a session or two sessions, or even just whatever, like people can get a little scared, right? You feel a little vulnerable. You start to go there, and there's that temptation for the wall to come up, to talk yourself out of it. But when you've committed to 3 nights, 4 days, right? You've spent money, you've invested in your own self, your time, financially, emotionally, all of that. You feel like I want to get everything out of what's being offered here. So people, they stick around. I mean, yeah, you could come Thursday night and leave on Friday and be like, I'm out of here, and it's not that crazy. Like I say, we're not going to make you peel back the layers and pull out the inner child wounds. Like, we'll touch on that stuff, but like, it's not like a full on immersive, like, we did this. Our first one was in September, which was sold out and was amazing. And women bonded and they're still in touch. So one of them just reached out last week and said, hey, I'm selling my house and I want to have a little thing and maybe we can get all the women together. The bonds were amazing. Everybody was just able to come together and really go at their own pace. We always said, you don't have to do that every session. If something does feel too heavy, you need a break. You need to go on a hike. You need to sit by yourself in the hot springs. This is out Mount Princeton Hot Springs. But we just had such a great experience last time and we learned so much. And now we're trying to cultivate that space with all of the feedback we got, really honoring your needs, and following you, right? Like I'm a coach and that's what we do and what Amber does in her sessions. We follow your lead. And I think also what we're really good at is tapping into a group energy and being present in a way that feels right. Like collectively, like that collective, we can feel like that collective energy. And Amber and I was like, okay, well, we were on the side, like, okay, we were going to do this, but maybe we should dial that back, or maybe they're ready for more, like we have really great energy between us and together we can tap to the room, read the room really well, and then deliver or offer techniques or breath work or right? Like maybe it's like, okay, well, I think they might want to dial up this breath work a little bit. Maybe we could go into some breath of fire. Maybe we just need some easy, elongated exhales. We're good on the fly. But
Yes.
I particularly have a knack of bringing the right people together, the right energy together.
Yes, you do. It's incredible.
And one of the ladies last year was like, with her roommates, she was like, how did you know we'd be so good together? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I just feel.
You read people's energy like crazy good.
Yeah, it's really probably my best gift. Thank you.
It's really honed in. Yeah.
Natural gift. But yeah, it was just so special last year. And we're really happy to be able, and for us too, like you mentioned before, we do this work because it helps heal us. We're not healed. We're not like some gurus on like the top of some spiritual mountain. We're just like you, trying to do this life with all of our trauma and pain and loss.
Yeah. The only reason why we can guide or facilitate anything is because we've been there and we're continuing to work out our healing. It's a lifelong process, right? Because, I feel like there have been a lot of kind of graphics coming out lately talking about how we think healing is linear, but actually, and then we give ourselves shame when we go around a circle and we feel like we land at the same spot, right? Except that the thing is, it's actually a spiral. You're just going to keep coming back. And maybe the next time there's something that changes a little bit in how it feels and how you manage it. We just keep refining.
Yeah. Like I'm thinking about myself and I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, well, I'm talking about all this. And look at what I just told you guys. Look at what I'm going through right now. Like, am I even qualified to like do something? But it's so true. It's just another layer is peeled every time we fall back, or not even fall back. It's not even like a fall back. It's just like the next part of the journey. Yes. So really it could still be going forward. It's still moving forward on the path. It might not look like growth in the moment, but you guys better believe I've been doing a ton of seeking and searching. I laid in bed for 7 days. I had plenty of time to turn on some beautiful music and hold my crystals and put them on my body and just say like, what is going on here? What is this about? And getting really honest with myself. And then on the other side, right, when I come out of this, as I am coming out of it, I'm able to offer even more wisdom, even more guidance, right? Like if we hit this, like I always say, there's no summit of personal development. If you and I hit this, we're good. We're good. What else would we have to offer? We have to keep growing ourselves. And that growth comes from pain and difficulty.
It does. It absolutely does. We are still human. We are guides. We are not gurus. And we need guides ourselves, right? Mentors who are a few steps ahead of us. And that's kind of how it works. And I'm super excited to meet with my new Reiki mentor tomorrow. I feel like a ton is opening up there. I feel like there's really something to what you even said, feeling even before this ocular shingles thing came on, that like you were needing a connection point
Yes.
with another healer, and to kind of keep continuing that process going. I think that's just, we all kind of flow with each other, right? And I know that some of the ladies who are at our last retreat are flowing in their own way and offering out of, their life experience and their practices. And it's so beautiful to see and to support. And that's just so how it should be.
That's a great point, because what we do at these retreats, and we had a full day one in February, we're having another full day one in August, which I'm super excited about. There's a little teaser for you. It's going to have a lot to do with these beautiful babies right here. A lot of flowers. It's going to be awesome. Anyway, what happens is not like us. Yeah, we're in the front, we're in our little space, but like, it's about the gifts that you all bring to the table. Like, we're guides, not gurus. I love that. Guides, not gurus, because we are in it with you. We're doing this with you, alongside you. So we need you to bring your special gifts, which you have. And if you're drawn to retreats, spiritual retreats, yoga, meditation, you probably have some experience with it, and you have your own stories to share and your own experiences. Like, we had a coach there in September, and she offered a couple of ladies really that have been doing a lot of work for a while, were able to offer up and introduce some things that we didn't think of. And it was like, thank you so much for sharing that, because it's just adding to the experience, right? So it's cool. So it's like a real interactive, engaging kind of experience, where it's not just up in the front teaching you, telling you, guiding you. We're doing it together. And that is the beauty of it. We're doing it together.
Co-creation.
I wanted to point that out. You said that before. We're co-creating. That's what it's all about. It's like, that's where we're going as a society, spiritually, as humans. We're being forced into more co-creation if we want to exist, if we want humanity to continue.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think one of the things I really love about what we're doing in June too is that we've offered a lot more integration time. That if people want to go off by themselves, or, sit in a hot spring, go for a hike, do whatever, there's just a lot more space for that. But also having more supported space for people who maybe want to get a massage. We're bringing our own massage therapist who's going to be like in-house. I'm so excited. And she's amazing. And she's on the same wavelength with energy. And to be able to do Reiki and vibrational sound and have this very personal experience as well. I think it's just going to be fantastic. I feel like we're kind of offering the best of both worlds. And having learned from last time, we're giving more breathing room for us too, right? So we can hold that space well.
And I'm seeing right now in my vision of somebody, going to the hot springs, maybe by themselves, and sitting in the hot springs and looking up at these beautiful trees, being immersed in nature, and allowing whatever you sensed in that session you were just in to, like you're saying, integrate, to bring it home, to have some kind of awareness, right? Like, I can see it. I don't know who it is, but I can see one, maybe more of the women sitting in the hot springs alone in solitude, having this epiphany. And that's what a lot of the women said last. We have a couple of women who left us wonderful reviews, and that's what they said. Like, the awarenesses that came, the insight that I gained from this experience, I didn't have driving up to Mount Princeton, but I left with that. And that's what that extra time is offering you. It's offering you that space to just bring it home. All right. So for the sake of honoring our time, our schedules, and my brain, we're going to shut this off. So, Amber, tell us
Good.
where everybody can find you, your social media handles, all the good stuff.
Yeah. So my website is www.zenahealingarts.com. Instagram is at Amber LaRusso. Facebook is Amber.LaRusso. And yeah, I've got monthly sound baths going on that are public and a dynamic breathwork and sound journey that's going to be coming up in May. Also, we've got a retreat coming up and some other events in the summer. I've got an online course that's going to be launching in June as well. And we're going to be working with Kundalini energy and breath and ritual to just find alignment and maintain that through the summer. We're just going to find it again and again. And it's going to be practices offered at home that you can do whenever you have the time. Summer's busy, right? The thing that a lot of people don't know is that I also do these private events. So you might not see a lot on my calendar, but there are other ways to connect with me. If you want to get a group of people together, it can be 5-10 people, and we can do some yoga, we can do some sound, we can do some Reiki, somatics. There's a whole toolbox available to you. So you can message me through my website or email me, amber@zenahealingarts.com. And I love connecting with you personally. So reach out anytime.
Awesome. And Amber's also studying human design right now, learning how to do that.
Mhm.
And at our retreat, we're going to be offering like private, not sessions, if you will, but maybe 15, 20, 30 minutes in the cabin. We're going to be in a separate cabin, just us and the other facilitators come into the cabin, sit down with us, 15, 20-minute card readings, oracle card readings, maybe a human design, depending on how far you are in that process, but like really
Mhm.
personal one-on-one stuff. But yeah, Amber, you do it a lot. And thank you for being born and for choosing. I don't say this to every guest, but for choosing to reincarnate right now because people need you. People need what you have, your own experiences to resonate with them, to trust you, to know that you can help kind of shepherd them into the next phase of their lives, the next chapter of their lives after the trauma, after the loss, after the pain, the freedom, right?
Mm,
Provide a sense of,
yeah.
I just love you.
I love you too. Thank you so much for having me on. Before we go, can I pull a card for you?
Sure. Yeah.
Real quick, real quick. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm curious if anybody out there listening or watching resonates with this card, let me know.
Okay. Inanna, the queen of heaven and earth.
Oh, I like that. Yes. Yeah. It's so
I
bright.
have nothing to hide. I see and accept all that I am.
The queen of
Beautiful.
heaven and earth. I love it. Thank you so much. Yes. Because for those of you who don't know, I'm really connected to the other side. And I've actually been getting that message a bunch in the past month or so of like
Mm,
being able to connect both heaven and earth and bridging the two worlds together really kind of well. So if that calls to you, reach out to me and we can talk about some kind of private medium psychic stuff going on. So
I
thank you,
love it.
Amber. You rock. I love you. I wouldn't want to do any of this with anybody else. So thank you, Corinne. Thank you, Corinne, if you're listening.
I love you.
I love you. I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.